Alright, guys. I'm gonna keep it a buck. What we got in the last spoilers was absolute dog. So bad. So bad. We literally okay, so you guys know I'm a relatively diehard mono white player. And I'm like, okay, we got I'm just browsing through the Commander Legends leaks. I'm just like, okay. I'm just waiting for those mono white cards to come out, just like one after the other. And I'm assuming because the community has been like saying like give white some good stuff, give red some good stuff, Boros colors good stuff, right? I'm just looking through some cards. I'm just like, all right, this one. Not even looking at the card yet. Not even looking at the title or the effects of the card. I'm just looking down. I see a white card, and bam, mythic rare. What do you think? Mythic rare card. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see a mythic rare card in a commander specific set? What do you think? I personally, and it's just me. Like I used to play blue and some green here and there, some Rashmi. I'm just like, all right, we know we're getting a bomb. Like you get a mythic in those colors, you just get a bomb. There's no way you don't get a bomb. Like it's playable automatically, right? But when you're playing mono white, you feel a different way. You feel 20 different ways. We got the Seraphic Great Sword in a mythic slot. In a mythic slot. Oh my goodness. It's so bad. I would never play it in a deck. I don't even know what type of deck you play it in. It's so bad. And of course, Commander Replay did a video on it, and I watched it. I totally agree with it. Um, and I don't know what to say. Like, I think might be the result of perhaps making sets so far in advance, because not only do you get the feedback later, it's like that feedback won't be understood until another 2 years because they make their cards so far in advance. I hate that idea because it means a few things. One, you're probably not gonna get the card that you need, and two, you gotta wait so much freaking time for that next card to come out that's actually gonna fix what they had forgot to fix. It sucks. I hate it. Anyways, I'm sorry. We're not here for that. We're here for some Commander Legends. And you guys know what I do. I come here, I give you the legends, I give you the deets, and we just get it over with. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And of course, I'm gonna go over some of the interesting cards, aka mostly the rares and mythic rares. Or the rares, yeah, rares and mythic rares. That's because there's a lot of like some sort of like me cards, and I want to get past the draft shaft. However, there are a few nice and neat commons and uncommons. I'll check those out as I read them. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first card is Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator. I thought this card was kind of decent. It was 2 in a blue for an uncommon Siren legendary creature pirate with flying. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to an opponent, create a treasure token for each opponent and dealt damage this way. So at most, in a 4-person pod, you're making 3 extra treasure for this. And I think that's fine. Like, of course, if you're playing a pirate per turn, that means by the time you get this out, you're going to have 2 pirates. And so that's 2 extra treasures. Is that worth it? Is there like ramping 2 for that? I don't know what you'd ramp into, but I'm guessing you ramp into your 3rd pirate, and so that way on your 4th turn you have a full set of pirates to swing out at everyone. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's usable as like ramp, a 3-mana ramp in blue. Like blue doesn't ramp that much, and this is something like that. This is sort of like that. It's fine. Honestly, I sort of expected something like this in red, where like it has to deal damage to get treasure tokens. I feel like the way they're treating blue, they should treat this sort of effect, ramp, as the same way they treat white. Like give them some crappy ramp, just because they can do everything under the sun. Next card we have Maelstrom Wanderer and Silas. You guys know what this does. These cards are already revealed, and that they're already printed. These are decent cards. These are pretty decent cards. So next up we have Averna, Blooming Chaos. For a teamer, that is green, blue, and a red, legendary creature elemental shaman. While you cascade, you may put a land card exiled this way onto the battlefield tapped for a 4/2. Is this card good? I don't think there's enough cascade, just like garbage to just shove into a deck and be good playing. I think most cascade cards are priced effectively, costed effectively, and that you're probably going to be casting those later, and putting them just willy-nilly into a deck won't make it necessarily good. It'd be more so like it would end up being still, I think, a battlecruiser deck, so I don't think it's worth it by itself. But I could see this being in the 99 of like a Maelstrom Wanderer. Like, I think it's fine as part of the 99. Especially at being at 3 mana, it's like you ramp into this, or you hit this and you start ramping a lot, and you just cast more Maelstrom Wanderers. That sounds doable, right? Sounds pretty decent. Not too shabby. Although I don't think it's, yeah, it's probably worth it if you're like putting this in instead of for like a land world. Anyways, next up we have Emberweld Captain. I think this is a decent one. It's not good, but it's a mythic. It's a rare, so I figured why not go. It's 3 in a red, Djinn Pirate, which also gives Monarch, and Monarch is essentially a card draw engine staple onto a creature. This is probably strong because it's red and it's just giving red card draw. It's sort of a bend because of you want to introduce this effect into almost all the colors, but you know, giving red card draw is not too bad. The only problem with this is like, I don't know how effectively you're going to be able to keep Monarch and stop people from getting Monarch from yourselves, but that might not be too much of a problem because red goes in for the swings. And so if you honestly keep going in for the swings, then you can like evade people enough or evade the blockers enough. It's like you're probably going to draw cards anyways, but at the cost of having your opponents being able to draw cards as well. So just heads up on that. When you're attacked, if you are the Monarch, this card deals damage to attacking opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand. So if you're being greedy and you've got like one creature on the board and you're playing control, this is probably gonna do some damage to you, which isn't that bad. I don't think it's a draft set, so like you have to take it how it is. It's okay for 4/2. For 4, it's alright. Alright. I mean, red doesn't usually get that type of stuff, but you know what? That's fine. That's a-okay with me. Next up we have is Aurora Phoenix. 4 red creature Phoenix with flying. It also has Cascade. Whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, return Aurora Phoenix from your graveyard to your hand. This isn't that bad. I don't think. If you're playing like a Cascade deck that wants to like ramp that Cascade spell, like a Maelstrom Wanderer deck, I think this is an auto include, simply because it helps you keep on getting Cascade and you can use it as like a blocker. And if they block with it, it's like it's a card draw engine essentially, because you don't care if it blocks, because it's always getting you a blocker. And if it dies, it's always getting you another card on top of the card that is itself. So I think this card is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Honestly, I think it's costed effectively. Like even at 5, I guess the casting cost CMC does affect the Cascade, but yeah, this card is fine. This card is perfectly fine. I think this is good in like a Maelstrom Wanderer deck or a Aegis deck maybe. No, I don't think it's. It's a decent card. I like it. It's a decent card. Let's see what else. We got this one card, this one counter spell, which this is the sort of stuff I really like them to keep doing, because it really sort of stunts I guess the progress. I talked about it in my last video with my card of the day and the opposition agent. This is the sort of effect I think they should keep on introducing into like these colors that have so much already. This sort of like late game sort of stuff that just is sort of because they already have so much late game that they could do. This is the forceful denial. It's a counter spell like Cascade. That's all it does. Yeah, it could draw you an extra card, or you can cascade into another counter spell. So this essentially becomes uncounterable. The counter spell becomes, well, I guess it's 2 for 1, right? Because they would have to counter the other counter if you play this in a deck full of counters, right? That could be kind of decent, right? Make a spell uncounterable for 5 mana. I mean, maybe people will shove in like two counters for this, but then it's like that's card advantage in a 1v1 format. But in a 2-player game, it's like it's probably not worth it. But even in 2-player games, like you might hit some like card draw or something, like a ponder. Then it's like a counter spell plus a card draw. Then it's just a cryptic command. I can see this being okay. I mean, it's common, okay? It's common. You don't expect it to be too crazy. Yeah, I think this card is fine. That card is fine. What else do we got here? We got some more draft chaff. Any new cards? Of course, you got the 3 visits, and I think that card's fine. It's 2 mana for search your library for a forest card. Put that card in the battlefield, so it's a ramp spell. Basically, instead of having like a mana rock, you're playing a forest instead, which just means that it's just a ramp spell. It's a ramp spell. Let's see. Next up, we have. I think this card might be D. So we have a few new cards here actually. I think I'll just pile through them one after the other here, just because I think that's how it should be done. And these are like some interesting cards too. I think I've checked a few of them out. So All right, the rest are English. So next up, we have Entourage of the Tress. On Entourage of the Tress, enters battlefield, you become Monarch for 5 mana. It can block initial creature each combat as long as you're the Monarch. So this is like a fine Monarch card, I think, because it helps you keep Monarch while being a relatively beefy boy. Like 4 mana generally blocks a lot. Of course, those pesky flyers come here and there, but like if everyone's on the ground, like this is gonna block a lot. And being able to block initial creature just means like you're gonna keep Monarch longer. And because they're slamming in for that Monarch, if hey, I've seen a few people be really greedy, but if they keep on slamming you in and losing their cards just because they want to get that Monarch so badly, that's a deal I'd take. Honestly, I would hate to swing with this though, because eventually if they do get Monarch, you're not gonna have a blocker, and this thing can block 2 creatures. So essentially, it's like, I want to say it's like a 2-for-1. It's really good. I think this is pretty decent for a common. I think it's decent. Of course, that this is probably going into your battle cruiser deck. It's not like a mid power plus sort of type of card. I think it's more so, or even your like your Pauper EDH, right? The thing, like in your Pauper EDH, this is just good. I'm pretty sure it's like a staple in Pauper EDH, just because that sort of effect. I don't know how much comboing there is in Pauper EDH, but if there isn't that much comboing, it's just like meat fights where just like creatures just slamming at each other and see who wins off of that. If that's the sort of fights they do in Pauper EDH, then this card comes better. But this is all speculation, of course. I have no clue what the heck I'm talking about. I'm just saying, if that's the case, this card might be pretty nutty. Kinda nutty, boys. All right, next up we have Magus of the Order. This is one of the other Maguses that were supposed to be introduced because of they wanted to complete the Magus cycle. So here is the Magus of the Order. Sacrifice Magus Order and another green creature. Search your library for a green creature card and put down the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. This card is I mean, it's card disadvantage because you have to sack this and another green creature to get a creature. Get 1, so you're 2 for winning yourself. But you do get any creature and put on the. It's not that bad, I don't think. Of course, it's super costly and you wouldn't play it in anything above mid power, but like it's kind of cute, right? Like uncounterable, get a creature on the battlefield that's big and fat. Do this at like an end step or something. This card's not that bad. I think this card's kind of. It's cute. It's not good, but it's cute. Like I'd play this in mid power deck, at most. No high power though. All right, next up we've got Demonic Knowledge. 2 and a black enchantment. When Demonic Knowledge enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. At the beginning of your end step, you lose 2 life for each card in your hand. This is the type of stuff I really do like this sort of new treacherous blessing sort of effect, where like black can draw cards, but it's at the loss of life, and it's like they can draw really aggressively, which I think is really nice. And this is like playable because it's like a burst set of card draw. I don't think black has a lot of like streaming, a flow of card draw. I think it's a lot of burst. Like even if you play something like Necropotence, you obviously just like Necro for like 15 or something like that. You never Necro for like 1 card each turn. Right? So for that reason, I think this card is like pretty on par for black cards. I do like this effect where like it keeps, if you're playing black and you want card draw, that life total is gonna matter a lot. And having people like punch you when you're playing black is gonna hurt a lot, which I think is a good drawback if they're playing black, because the black has a lot of tutors and stuff like that. This is a good way to punish them. Unfortunately, it can't be said for all colors, like green. But yeah, I like this sort of effect. Especially the fact that it's at each of your end steps, at the beginning of your end step. So if you have this just on board and you have a lot of cards, you're not playing them, it's just going to keep on ticking at your life. And black's not known to destroy a lot of enchantments. They've got a few enchantment removals here and there. But like, if this sticks, you're losing some life. You're losing some life. I think this card is fine. The card is totally fine. It's definitely like a treacherous blessing. The only downside is you want to make sure you use your cards, otherwise you lose your life. Which is nice. I like this kind of effect. This is a good effect. Can we get this effect for other colors? Is that possible? Like a green? Can green get this sort of effect on their card draw instead of whatever they have now? It's like beefy big boys that draw cards. Not that. Next up we have Blim, Comedic Genius, a legendary creature imp with flying. When Blim deals common damage to a player, that player gains control of a permanent you control of your choice. Then each player loses life and discards cards equal number of permanents they control but don't own. This is kind of cute. You kind of play this like a Cedh sort of deck, but like you just gift them random crap or crappy crap. and they start discarding crap, and it's just like it's like a really good Staxy slash. It only affects the only bad part is it only affects one player, and so if there's a way to double this, like maybe you have a myriad, no, not even like Blade of Selves will help here because it's legendary. If there's a way to do this to multiple people at once, I think it's hard to be better. But doing it only to one person, it kind of sucks. I think this is better than 99, but it's whatever. It's whatever, boys. It's whatever. That's that. That's the last one that is not in English. We got a few other cards. I don't think they're too spicy. We do have Opposition Agent, which I have talked about in my card of the day video. If you guys haven't seen, I think this card is nutty. And I don't say that in a bad way. In that like this card is gonna be so strong and oppressive. I think this card is for the decks that are very much tutor focused. And if you guys are playing tutor tribal, this card will hose you. I think that's a good thing because I'm a person who plays mono white. I run new tutors, not because I can't. I have 3 tutors. I have like the best white tutors. That is like idyllic tutor and enlightened tutor, but and land taxes. That's sort of a tutor for lands. I only run 3 tutors, right? And so if you're running like all the fetches, you're running all the tutors you can, you're playing bug, you got all the tutors, you got your combos, and that's all you're doing. This card is gonna be nutty. It's gonna be, and I hope this card ruins those type of people's days because it makes me feel good. I sleep at night because I think about that. All right. That's what I think about at night. Now you guys know. Next up we have Profane Transfusion, which is 6 black, black, and black. 2 target players exchange life. Then you create XX colors horror artifact creature where X is the difference between those life totals. This is expensive and it's a mythic. Okay. Okay. From what I said earlier, I thought that white would have the worst of those like crappy mythic rares. But geez, this is a bad mythic rare. I mean, it happens to everyone, but like, can we agree that it happens to different colors more than other colors? Like, it happens to like the Boros colors compared to the bug colors, right? 100%, because those colors have more attritional base value. Boros colors are always a hacker. Anyway, those are the cards. Those are my review for today. Hope you guys liked these cards because I liked a few of them. Opposition Agent is definitely one of my favorites, especially from this set. It currently looks like I'm waiting for those nice, spicy. Oh, wait! Before we even end, I forgot to talk about this card. I thought this card wasn't spoiled yet, but it looks like it's got an etching. Probably pretty good. I don't know. Maybe. Breaches the Brazen Plunderer. It's a goblin pirate, yes, with menace. Whenever one or more pirates you control deals combat to an opponent, exile the top card of each of those opponent's libraries. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as a minute color. Okay, so it's a Grenzo-like effect for more mana, and it has some sort of EV. When one or more pirates you control to those opponent libraries. Okay, it's not as good as Grenzo because it doesn't trigger on each like amount of combat damage, but it's still kind of good, right? I mean, not really. It's uncommon, but I'd probably put this in like a Grenzo deck, a theft type of deck. Anyways, those are the cards. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, of course. But that black card, Opposition Agent, is kind of nutty, and we'll definitely be seeing a lot of that in the upcoming years until Magic is no longer a thing. It's a good card. Anyways, hope you guys like this video. Check out these cards. Tell me what you think about white and like this black card here, Profane Transfusion. Gosh, it sucks because if these cards were made so much sooner than 2 years ago, I think they would change things. Like the next Commander Legends says they do. The difference in quality of the cards that the community sees would be so much different. You could tell so much because they would able to take in that info and show the changes or show what they hear and put that into like writing, like on the cards. They would show those changes sooner. And it sucks because like you get these crappy mythic rares. I don't even think this is good in draft. This isn't even good in draft. Like if they made this a year in advance, like they would even understand that like COVID would be a thing that's starting, right? And so I would even think about making a draft set if this was just a year in advance. But they do 2 years in advance for these sets. That's, come on, guys. 2 years? Come on. Whatever. It's whatever. Anyways, hope you guys like this video. Peace out, guys. Catch you guys later. And yeah, deuces.